Welcome to the OpenJ9 community call for February 21st. If you haven't already, please add your name and a company affiliation to the minutes so we can see who's attending these meetings. If anyone has anything urgent to bring up, feel free to interrupt me. Otherwise, I'll just continue with the regular agenda. No lightning talk scheduled for today, so we'll look at the user-raised issues. There was a new one raised recently for the GC team. I see it's been assigned to GC, and Alex was pinged in that. It's the only recent user-raised issue. Does anyone have any user-raised issues they'd like to discuss? Okay, so for the 036 release, that was finished and published. Semru builds were published and announced on February 15th. I think there's some Docker stuff still pending. Is Adam on? See Adam. I assume that will get done as soon as possible. Does anyone have questions, comments about 036? So 038 release, our April release, the branches were created from the levels on Friday, except for the latest OMR change, which seems to be causing a problem. Um, Dimitri, I think that was your change. So just be aware that that change didn't go into any of the branches. So all further changes for the releases 038 and the Java 19 release 037 are going to need to be double delivered now that we have release branches. So I won't look at the milestone plan for 038. I think we'll just move on to Java 19. Open up the list. So I don't think we have Daryl today. Jack, can you take us through some of these?
Yeah, sure, Pete. So for the first one, Humongous Stack, I've asked JIT to take a look from their perspective since I wasn't able to figure out much info on the VM side based on the core file data. Uh, for Pinalot, Daryl is still looking at it. I don't think as of last week there have been much progress in terms of finding what exactly is the problem on the compile code. Skynet failure on larger machines. Lynn is working on the PR to have it fixed. And moving down the list, the Skynet hang or timeout, that is actually due to our existing performance issue. So currently we're performing compared to OpenJDK, we're about to, I think it was 5 to 6x slower. And depending on some of the machines with lower CPU resources, that might gets even worse. So that is sort of something we're currently looking at in terms of getting our performance better to be able to avoid all the timeout issues with this test.
Do you think
The
that'll be addressed for delivery in March?
We're hoping to get part of the stuff done so that we can fix at least the timeout issue, but we're most likely not going to be able to fix the full performance gap until maybe in September release.
Um, can we exclude the Skynet test again until we have the timeout addressed because it's causing a lot of failures in our builds?
Yeah, I can open a PR today to exclude it.
Okay, thanks.
And for the time get, that one I am currently looking at it. It's a platform specific issue. It only fails on Mac x86. It have not been seen anywhere else or reproduced anywhere else. I'm still not exactly sure why it causes a VM crash. We'll have to look deeper into the stack trees.
I'm wondering if we want to also exclude that one now that we know about it. I think it pretty much, yeah, it's failing every day, so
Mhm.
maybe we could exclude that if you don't need it running every day.
Okay, I'll include these two both, and once we figure out what the issue is or fix it and confirm that the failing platform are passing, we'll re-enable it.
Yeah, and for the time get, you can just exclude it on Mac because that's the
Yeah.
only place it fails. And the last one, I guess, just was opened this morning. I think Toby, did somebody update it?
I still have to look at it in more detail, but
Yeah, it was just open. So
yep. So I looked at JDM view and it looks like the crash happens in method handler in work basic. To see further where exactly the crash happens, I have to look at it in GDB. And I think I tried opening it in a random machine and GDB didn't open the core file, so I have to I think open it in on the exact same machine where the crash happened. So for that I have to ask help from Adam to get access to that machine. And then there are further, I think, intuitions that this is a JIT issue. So once I confirm it, I will get the JIT team involved. And back to you, Peter.
okay. Any other comments on these issues or comments on Java 19? Cheng, do you have any updates for Panama?
On our side, still working on the changes on Java 20. So far, everything's on the OpenGDK side is already finished, and still keep working on the changes against the latest API in OpenG9. Hopefully, everything's ready this week and get started to verify the changes. Yeah,
So
that's about it.
at this point, there's nothing else required for Java 19?
Uh, I think there's changes I need to update against latest API. Uh,
For
the
19?
Uh, for 19, I think there is still one issues. On AX, so far I've not yet have time to look at on AX. The about loading default libraries with a string cat. I'll spend a little bit time this week to take a look at it.
16386. So that's not something that's in our milestone plans. We must have decided to
Yeah,
move that out.
that's happens in OpenGDK. Have nothing to do directly with OpenG9.
Okay, so
Yeah.
really that's going to be a JDK 20 issue, I guess.
Yeah.
And then for JDK 21, we've got the latest OpenJDK level imported, and there was a problem. Jason created a fix, and that got merged this morning. So
Yeah.
hopefully that unblocks you for Java 21 for
Yeah.
the headstream.
Right. Once he's ready, and can update everything and get code review.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Anyone? I don't know if there anything else to say about Java 20. We were able to move up to the latest OpenJDK level, and it didn't cause any new failures in Sanity Functional or Sanity OpenJDK. In fact, both of those seem to be running green. Um, there were a few issues, but I guess they got resolved. So at this point, other than FFI, the only issues I'm aware of are a couple of system tests that need to be excluded, I think, for Java 20. Nothing to do with OpenJ9, just changes in Java 20. Those system tests uh, don't work anymore. Okay. Shelley, did you have an update on Adopt?
I don't think there's anything to update at this time.
Sounds good. Thanks. And still don't see Adam, so nothing on machines. As far as I know, all the machines are fine. Let's see, do we have Marius? Let's see Marius. Anything for CRIU, Toby?
No, nothing new to mention this week.
Okay. Does anyone have any other business? Otherwise, I think we're done for today. Thanks, everyone.